All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we got some updates regarding the lawsuit between Nintendo and Palworld. And I got to be honest with you, man. Nintendo is a very sneaky company, at least when it comes from a litigious standpoint. This company is the same company that tried to file new patents that were going to help against their lawsuit against Palworld after they sued Palworld. Not before, after. They tried to file patents in order to make it harder for Palworld to do what they were doing. They were a disgusting company in that regard, and they're very well known for their litigation. Now, with all that being said, apparently Nintendo has modified one of their patents amongst the ongoing lawsuit against Palworld. And it probably is the I haven't read it yet, but it probably is the patent that got denied. Because remember, only one or two of their patents got denied out of their 20 plus patents that they applied for after they started suing Palworld. So let's get into this conversation and see what Nintendo is up to. According to the latest developments in the Nintendo and Pokemon Company's patent infringement lawsuit against Palworld, the former has recently modified one of its patents overall. And I got to tell you, man, like I said before in my other videos about this, I am 100% on the side of Palworld. I want Palworld to win this. I think it's going to be very hard for them to win it. I'm not lying to you. Not because they did anything wrong, but because I think they were so blindsided by this. And Nintendo is so aggressive against Palworld that Nintendo is pulling out every trick they possibly can to try to take down Palworld legally to their best of their ability. But Nintendo doesn't just want to stop there. Nintendo wants to not only beat them legally, but Nintendo also wants to take down the game any way they can. They know they can't make the game stop existing, but they're going to hope that they can kill the game off little by little by making them force changes that are going to be antithetical to what the players actually want. For the best example I could give you is the fact that Nintendo forced Palworld to change the animation from throwing a ball to capture, a pal to just being able to just have them, right? Like it's such a small change, but it's a big change because people got used to that. And once you start making little changes like that, the vision of the game starts to change overall for people, and it starts to get a bit annoying. So, but anyway, let's talk about it. For those unaware, Nintendo and Pokemon Company Pocket Pair, the publisher for Palworld, have been in a legal battle for close to a year now. It is a patent infringement lawsuit in which Nintendo alleges that Palworld has infringed on 3 of its patents. Palworld and Pocket Pair have already argued invalidity. However, it seems Nintendo may have another card up its sleeve. And this is why Nintendo pays their ninjas the amount of money that they do. Okay? Nintendo has mastered the art of litigation. They've mastered the art of the lawsuit. They have 100% invested an ungodly amount of money to ensure that they have the maximum amounts of opportunities to win when it comes to a lawsuit. But keep in mind, that does not make them invincible. Nintendo couldn't even beat a supermarket owner that they tried to take down because he named his supermarket Super Mario Market or something like that. Super Mario Market or whatever. His name is actually Mario. So he wanted to name it Super Mario. But anyway, they lost that whole lawsuit. So that was a great news. Nintendo rewrites patent claims during Palworld lawsuit. According to a report by GamesFrame, Nintendo has recently visited the Japan Patent Office to request a modification to one of its patent claims. And this request has been granted because, of course, it is, right? It's Japan. Nintendo fucking runs Japan. Nintendo is the top 10 richest company in all of Japan, right? So, of course, they're going to win this, right? At least in this regard. For those wondering, there are 3 patents in question. 2 focus on collecting characters, and 1 is about smooth switching between flying and riding objects. Nintendo has revised the patent claim for the patent related to smooth switching between riding objects. Now, keep in mind, this is on their home field. You know, they lost the lawsuit against the supermarket owner, but that is a totally different jurisdiction, totally different field. This is them playing on their home turf. So if you ever wanted to see what it was like to go up against a Super Saiyan Nintendo, this is basically what it's like. Suing them and fighting them on their home turf is going to be very difficult for somebody else to win. So I'm very curious what's going to happen for this. The report explains that the revision of Nintendo's patent doesn't introduce any new technical matter. However, its wording has been described as extremely contorted. GamesFrame adds this kind of wording is trying to complicate things for the purpose of putting up a huge smokescreen. Now, Nintendo is very known for this. Their patents are very vague, or they try to make them as vague as possible, right? So their language is something they could easily manipulate. Moreover, phrases like even when are not usually found in patent claims. Here's an expert for the modified Nintendo patent. All right, let's check it out. This might be a bit annoying to read, but we're going to read it anyway. It says, and even when any boarding character other than the aerial boarding character capable of moving in the air is the currently selected boarding character, and a first operation input is given when the player character is in the air, the computer causes the aerial boarding character to appear in the virtual space and causes the player character to board the aerial boarding character instead of the currently selected boarding character from among the boarding characters. What the fuck did I just read?
Holy shit.
What did I just read, bro? Oh my God. Okay. Moving on. Furthermore, the report tells us that litigants don't... and you know what's crazy? This is only an excerpt of it. This is not even the full thing. This is only an excerpt of it. An excerpt. Furthermore, the report tells us that litigants don't change a patent in the middle of an infringement case unless they feel the patent is at fairly high risk of being deemed invalid in its original form, which is very possible. However, sometimes these revisions can allow the litigant to survive the invalidity contentions and also establish an infringement by the accused product or service. Now, listen, I don't know the rules, okay? I don't know the rules when it comes to Japanese patent law or whatever the case would be. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But what I am going to say is I think it's absolute bullshit that you are able to change your patent in the middle of a lawsuit talking about this same patent. I feel like that is a huge problem, right? Because if you're suing someone for a patent infringement, if they didn't actually infringe on the patent, you are trying to change the patent to make it so that they do infringe on it. I feel like that is a huge, huge problem. And I can't agree with that. Again, I don't know what the laws are regarding Japanese, patent, but I feel like that is a really fucked up thing to do. It is also speculated that Nintendo's revisions to its patent claims in the Palworld lawsuit may not be targeting just Pocket Pair. They can also be used to discourage other companies from making games that resemble Pokemon in any shape or form. Now, if you guys remember, when I checked out the indie showcase, I forgot which one it was. I think it was the last one we looked at. There was like 4 or 5 very similar looking games to Pokemon that indie developers were creating. And every time it showed up on screen, I immediately was like, yep, Nintendo lawsuit, cease and desist is on the way right now. It's not going to stop at Pocket Pair. It's not going to stop at Palworld. The reason why Palworld is getting targeted is because Palworld felt to Nintendo. Palworld showed Nintendo that they were asleep. Palworld proved that Nintendo was not giving their fans what they wanted, and Palworld did it for them in a way that was different enough so that they couldn't necessarily, get immediately sued for all kinds of things, and they made a ton of money from it. That's really the only reason why. It's because they made a ton of money. Had Palworld not made any money, had Palworld came out and flopped, Nintendo probably wouldn't have gone after them either as hard or as quickly as they did. It's because they immediately succeeded in a way that Steam, I think they're still like number 2 on Steam ever. That is the reason why Nintendo went after them as fast as they did. So in any case, this is insane stuff. I don't understand how Nintendo is able to change the patent in the middle of a patent lawsuit. I don't get that. That is insane to me. So you guys can let me know in the comments down below the video. What do you think about this? Do you think Nintendo is in the right? Do you think Nintendo's in the wrong? Do you think Palworld is going to win or lose? Whatever that may be, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.